Good morning, English 12. It's Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda. I hope this weekly update video finds you well. And I also hope you are enjoying your novel. I can tell from the discussion that many of you are enjoying it. This week we're working on session 3. It's due by the 13th this Sunday. And by the end of this week, you should also be done with 3/4 of your novel. So you are more than halfway done with your novel by the end of the week. So this unit, we only have one more session in this unit next week, session 4, and then we're moving on to our last unit of the semester of high school. I'm blown away. I can't even believe it. We're not quite done though. We have a lot of work to do, so stay with me for just a little bit longer, okay? For those of you that are experiencing a little bit of senioritis, which many of you are, I wanted to bring to your attention Unit 7 late work. That is due on the 27th. I'm giving you a full week after session 4 to submit late work, everything except discussion from units sessions 1 through 4. So take advantage of that. Many of you are coming and asking, what can I do to increase my grade? What can I do to pass? And this is your opportunity. Submit late work for up to 85% credit, except discussion from Unit 7. You will also have another opportunity at the end of Unit 8 to submit late work as well. So still lots of opportunities to increase your grade and to pass the class. Okay, so as always, click on Materials, click on Unit 7, Session 3. You can see that is our date range and the due date. In this session plan, we're going to be continuing our reading of the nonfiction books. So this week we're going to be considering what role jargon plays in nonfiction reading and writing. And so the image over here is from Angela's Ashes, which many of you are enjoying. I say that word because you're crying a lot. It's a very emotional book. I really enjoy this book, but it is a tearjerker. It is one of my favorite novels, though. A couple of important announcements. As always, 10 a.m. on Wednesday. If you have any questions, that's the time to come to a question answer help session. But you can always contact me anytime during the school week, and I get back to you pretty quickly. And then this important piece of information here, extra credit opportunity. You know I don't offer these very often. Attend the Cyber Bully Internet Safety Assembly at the Ed Center at 5 o'clock, room 4E, and it's open to all parents, staff, and students, and you can earn extra credit. You don't have to write a paper or do anything except for attend. The counselors there will be taking attendance, so just make sure that your name is on that attendance list, and you will receive extra credit. Okay, so moving on to the assignments for this week. Here's a list of our assignments and the suggested schedule for our assignments in this unit. So click Next. And here are the essential questions that are going to be guiding our learning this week. We're going to be exploring language of your novel, exploring the idea of jargon. This week, like I mentioned, read the next quarter of your novel. So by the time you're done with this session, you should be 3/4 of the way done. As you read this, really important, as you're reading this week, keep a list of any unusual terms you come across that are unusual or that you've never heard before reading this book. We'll use this list in an assignment later this week. This is your third reader response notes and journal. Remember that you must choose a different option than you did in session 1 or 2. So if you did interactive notes, the session 1, you did double entry session 2, then go ahead and do cause and effect notes. Okay, so you're going to be exploring 4 of these options by the time this unit is done. I do personally enjoy the notes with the scanners and pictures. They crack me up. They're very graphic. I enjoy them. So remember, the point of these notes and journals is that you are proving to me, your teacher, that you've both read this section of the book and that you're being critical. Okay, so be specific. It's more important to be specific with details and examples and critical analysis for me to know that you are reading the novel. And do use these templates right here. And submit your work right there. Next, you'll want to get out that list of unusual terms that I mentioned earlier from your reading this week. Your assignment is to create a list of at least 10 jargon terms that you've learned in reading this book. So jargon is just a specialized language that's specific to a field. So for example, in teaching, the terms standardized testing, differentiation, assessment, engagement, collaboration are all jargon terms for a particular thing that are important in teaching. And here are the types of jargon you may find in your books. Okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to create a list of 10 jargon terms, include a quote where the term is used, include a definition for each one, and then submit it on the next page. Okay, so you're going to have that list. You're going to include a direct quote and then include the definition. And submit it right there. And then finally, our last assignment of this session is to continue the discussion of your book in your reading group. We're keeping that discussion board open the entire unit. So you should have at least 4 more posts. You should be adding at least 4 more posts to your discussion this week. So this week, it's time to take your discussion skills even further. Instead of answering my questions, your group will be creating discussion questions and answering them. So remember this about good discussion questions. It's not an obvious answer. Different people could have different opinions about the answer, and they require people to think critically about what they read and even reread. Okay? So be sure to review this information on the leveled questions. And we're looking for level 3 and level 4 types of discussion questions. So make your initial post in which you ask at least one thought-provoking question. That's a level 2 or 3. And after the initial post, you may respond to your own post only if you're dying to answer your question. You'll also need to answer other students' questions for a total of at least 4 posts this week. Okay, and remember where your discussion websites are, or discussion boards are. By clicking on Unit 7, they are right here in a discussion folder. Okay? So going back to where we were, looking ahead, you're making a lot of progress, and next session is our last session for this novel. If you have any questions about anything this week, please contact me. I'm happy to help. Thanks, guys.